Hey guys, how's it going? It's Sergio here, and today I'm bringing you a full tutorial on how to make a plugin for Bedrock Minecraft. Now, enough of backstory. Let's get into this. But I just want to tell you that you can stay if you want to. I'm giving a full tutorial, and yeah, it's going to divide into parts because it will take, unfortunately, a while to reach the end. But yeah, I've been doing this for like 2 years. I mean, almost 2 years now, and I haven't seen any other tutorial on YouTube really that explains it well. When I first started, I tried to watch tutorials, but it didn't really help me, so I just checked the Java docs and everything, and I figured it out on myself. But yeah, let's get into this and enjoy. Okay, so first thing you do is you want to get your IDE. I'm using Eclipse. It's free and it's easy, and you're gonna want Spigot and Bucket. Same thing basically. Spigot is more on the server side and Bucket or Paper is more on the plugin side. Now I'll link both in the description. I mean only one, but same thing. I'll link in the description. You can just go down it, please. Latest version, just make sure latest bold and latest bold, and it's usually a snapshot. So yeah, if you have the IDE already and you install the jar file, you want to go right click a new Java project. Okay, wait for it, and you can name it anything. Just name it Spo for some reason, I don't know why, or SpongeBob. Okay, click finish and make sure it's running the newest Java environment, or I mean if you download JDK, make sure you have the JDK because otherwise your Java things wouldn't really be executed because there's no path, and yeah, you don't want that. You don't have to create a module. We're not doing that now. And yeah, now you should have this: your file, the directories, library, and your source. Now, your sources are directories, but we'll leave that for now. So we're now right click on it again, and now comes the part in where you need to download the jar file. We're gonna go to build path, configure build path, and here, okay, it's class path, not module path. Class path is the source, and basically we're gonna write your code and execute everything. So yeah, it gets more complicated than that, but I mean we'll just keep it like that for now. And okay, I renamed mine to server.jar. I'll explain in a while why that, but yeah, just import it. It should probably be snapshot 1.0 API or whatever, but yeah, just import it, open, apply, and close. Now you should have, oopsie. Now under your reference libraries, you should have your jar file. And here, come on. Once you click your reference libraries and on your jar, you should have all the API and stuff here. So that's what we're going to be working with. Probably not everything because there's so much, but that is what you want to have at this point. Then you're going to go right click again, new file. You're going to name this one plugin.yaml. Now this will define your, how can I say, it basically will define your plugin, all the things included with it, like your name, your commands, and just some things referring to your code as well. So let's go name. Oh, and remember, indent here is everything. You do not want to make an indent mistake. Do your indents exactly as I do mine. So you're gonna do your name. You can basically name anything. Doesn't matter if you go SpongeBob because that's your plugin name. Author, author you don't even have to include, but if you want like some credit or whatever, just put your author in there. Okay, Savage. Package, main. Make sure main, sorry, not here. Okay, we'll leave this one open for now because we're not there yet, but we'll be back here now. Then you want API. Nuggets 1 is 1.0.0 if I'm correct. Let me just can include a version. I recommend it, but you don't have to. It's basically just a version of your plugin. Let's say you release it and then you want to make some changes. You can change it to 2.0 or whatever, but just keep it for now 1.0 if you want to. And then commands. Now commands is probably the most important one here. To do this, you go to 1 space, 2 spaces, add in your command, but we will not be having any commands for now, so you can just leave it open. Now let's go back to main. This main defines your main class, as you can see, because it's main. So what I'm going to do is you're going to go right click on source, new package, or you can just click there. Then you want to define your package, layer.spunky. Okay, don't make it too difficult, otherwise you may define the thing wrong and you have some problem then. Now when you define, you made your package, you right click again, or you can just click here, make a new class, make sure it starts with a capital letter, and you want to name it main. Now you can name it anything else besides main, but I have known to run into some issues when defining the thing and it's not named main, but I have no idea why, but just keep it main. So now what you're going to do is you're going to type in your package, oopsie, spunk, just make sure you type it exactly. And now you want to put your class in there, which is main. Make sure it's a capital letter, otherwise you will have some problems. Let's go back here. So now here is your main class, which you're writing your code in. So here you have a package where it's defined, and here is public class. Now public class just defines your class. You don't have to get into that, it's pretty obvious, easy. Main is your class name, and which will be referred to if you want to create constructors or whatever, but we will not be doing that. So now what you want to write is you want to write extends, it will highlight, which means it's a function or like a method, and plugin base. Now plugin base is referring to the jar right here. The reference library is referring to this and everything inside of it. So by that you will extend everything that is written in there. So you can use it, you can implement it into your class. It's gonna highlight. You just want to hover over it and click import, and it will import the thing. It's pretty cool. And let's do a event 2. I haven't done this in a while. Sorry. Listener. Sorry, forgot what's the name. Yeah, you're gonna write implements listener. You can also implement things like command executor and so on. But it's pretty easy to do commands without that, so you don't even have to. You don't even have to implement it. Just if you want to do events, which we'll be doing 1, you want to implement that. Now you don't override is not necessary, but I recommend it still. Now you want to define your first method, which will be public void on enable, which basically runs just when the plugin is enabled and running, when it's first run. So because we have a listener, we can register the events here. You can also register in other places, but this is the easiest and the most non-confusing. But we can also do some other things like get the logger and send a message. Oh, sorry, not info. You can just say plugin started. Now this will become deprecated or outdated in the terms of when we implement the command, but for now you can just do it like this. So basically this will send a message to the logger or the command, as you may know it. Not a command, but like I said, a log. All the logs shown by the command thing, which you'll see now. Now you want to register your events. Oopsie, not die. This just refers to your class, and yeah, pretty much. We'll get plugin manager, a command. Sorry. Wow. Keep getting confused. Oopsie, not yet. Dot register events, because you may want to register more than one event. And referring to the listener, which is this. The first this refers to listener, and the second one refers to the plugin, which will be run in the command prompt, whatever you want to call it. So now we have the basic things. Now, the whole point what I actually want to make this video is just to teach you guys how to make a command, which we'll be doing now. So a command is something that's ran, which run, sorry, which will return true or false, which is known as a boolean. A boolean only has two return types, which is true and false. Now that's why it would not be a method, because if it was to be a void, it would not return, because void methods do not return. Oh, and I really advise you to first know some basic Java before doing this. I mean, you can still watch this, but you'll have a hard time understanding what's going on if you don't know what things like a switch is or camel casing, whatever. But please do some basic Java before doing this. But anyway, let's get on to this. So here I will recommend you to do override, because you may have some errors in your, not errors, but I mean like deprecated things or whatever, which this will just override and continue the thing, which will not crash. But yeah, that's something you need to know now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a public boolean. We're going to define it. We're going to say on command. We're going to command sender. This person will be sender command. We'll call him sender. Oopsie. You want a command, which will be run. We call it cmd. String, which will be the thing typed, like the actual string typed in, if you know what I mean. We'll call it label, like usually. And you want a string array, which will be known as args. Yeah. So now when you have that, we're going to run a block. Some of the things will probably be underlined. Just import them. Just make sure it's cn.nucket and not something else like Java or Minecraft or whatever. But I mean, okay. So now you'll get an error. That's why I said it was a boolean. Now boolean needs to return true or false. So we'll be returning it false. It's just for the sake of the, how can I say, like optimization and just making sure everything runs smoothly and so on. But yeah, you don't need to know that. We're just getting to the basics. So now you have a command, but it's empty. There's nothing inside. So now we want to create commands. Now, an easy way to do this, you can test if the thing that's sending command is a player or not. It's a player. We want it to be a player, not a command or an entity or whatever. I mean, entities can't usually execute commands, but who knows? Maybe something happens. So for a safety thing, we want to test if this will be negated. So just put a exclamation mark there. We're going to test if the sender is an instance of a player. We're going to import player. And if it's not, if this statement is true, we want it to return false. Or I can just send a message first. Sender.send message. Only players may execute this command. There we go. And then we want it to return false. Not just return, because we want it to return a certain value, just like the whole thing. So now we are safe from any other things trying to access it. You can also add permissions, but I will not be doing that this video. So anyway, now we can actually start to get its command. So now we want to do a switch statement. Switch basically takes a list of arguments thing or whatever you type listed, and it checks the values and see which one should be ran, depending on the condition. That may sound confusing, but let me just break it down for you. So we want to switch between the get command that will be written in the command bar, whatever you call it. So this basically switches between all the commands listed, and get name is just to get the name of the command that's being typed. That's pretty easy. It's actually really easy. So now we have, as I told you, have different cases. Now, I mean, there's more than one command being executed. That's why I want to search through the cases and see which one is being typed. So let's see what will we do. We'll do start. Let's see case start. With that, make sure everything between the inverted commas are not capitalized, because that is known to create some issues. So now we have the first case. Now we can basically do anything. So let's get the player. Player P equals get, or we can refer to this dot get server dot get instance dot get player from args 0. Actually 1. No, sorry, 0, because it's a thing after command. Oh, this thing wants us to be accessed in a static way. Change it to static. I can just leave it like this. I don't need logically shouldn't really affect anything, but if you want to make sure, just change it to static. So basically this will get the player listed in your command. So let's get the block the player is looking at. Block B equals, you can name it anything, I'll just name it B, equals p.get block, target block, sorry. Max distance, let's make it 100 blocks. So basically this will get the block, which is from the first block from the player till the 100th block. So it's just a range. Oh, we probably have to import it. Not good. There we go. So let's actually change this block. So let's say p.get, oopsie, bruh. Sorry, and level. So basically, level is getting the world the player is playing in. I think we can say set block. Yeah, set block. Set block at. So now we have to get the x, y, and z of b. Okay, so now we want to replace this block. Basically, what you do is you will first want to get the x. Actually, let's make it an int. Integer is a whole number, if you didn't know that. Basically, what you do is, if I'm correct, the thing is valid when it's integers, not doubles. But I mean, a position, a coordinate is a decimal. It's not one number, not a whole number. So basically what we do is we just want to say bx, well, you can name anything, but b just refers to block x, like an x value, equals b.get, get x. And most likely it would give us an error because that's not an integer. So basically what we do is you just want to cast it as an integer. So that would work. Integer by equals, you basically do it for the rest. b.get y and int, oopsie, just make it the same place that one, int bz equals integer b.get z. There we go. So now I have everything you need for the thing. So now you want to get the world the player is in, which is level, basically world just level for some reason, dot set block, let me see, yeah, integers, okay. So yeah, doubles would not work. So now you want to put bx in here, by, oh, they already did it for us, which is pretty cool. You don't want, I mean, the last one could be basically anything in a certain range because it's the type of block. The ID refers to which block is being replaced in that block. But we'll make it, let's just make a random number, 80, let's say 80. So now, when start is pressed, the block the player will look at is changed to a block with the ID 80. Now an easier way, actually a lot cooler way, if you want to repeat this, okay, so this is if you want to execute it one time. So take this fundamentals and you can elaborate with it, but this is the fundamentals, or whatever. This is how a basic command works. Now we can also make it loop. Let's make a new Nucket runnable. Sorry, not the capital letter. Nucket runnable. Come on. There you go. You want to import that right there. And now you want a run method. Run. So this will basically run without returning anything. So now I should have this if you want to return. There will be an error, but I'll show you guys what's wrong right there. So basically, what you can do is, okay, so you want to take it from there because we don't have to get a player more than one time. We only want to get him one time, and yeah, of course you want the same player to be executed with the whole time. So I'm gonna paste that in there. You can take this and just make sure it's before this thing, otherwise you will get some errors. Now there's a dot here, and now we have quite a few things. But the one we want to do is run task time, not asynchronously, whatever side. You want to refer to this plugin, integer delay. I'll probably make it 0, 1, and the total ticks before running the whole thing. So we want it to happen every, let's say, 10 seconds, 5 seconds. So we will make it 100 ticks, because 20 ticks is 1 second. So boom, there you have it. This, basically all this will do is every time you place in a start command, this will be run every 5 seconds. So let's actually implement this into our game. So how do you do that? So now we come back to our plugin. So now you want to remember which word name or the command name was, which was start. Place it there, enter 2 spaces, and then description. Just want to make sure, there we go. Description isn't that necessary, but it's still a good way if you want to make a server and you want people to know what's going on, which command is about. This is great. So let's just say start this or plugin. There we go. Now it will show up in your command tabs. So let's save this now and let's export this to your server. Okay, so you may not have a server ready, so I'll show you how to make one. Let's just make one in downloads here. Make a new folder, server Nugget. Let's do that. Okay, so you don't want to export it yet, but you want server your, let's say a jar file. You want a jar file to, oh, come on. Okay, this is not gonna work, so I'm just copying it. Let's copy it, paste it in here. So now you have the server. Now you want to create a text document. Actually, just leave the exporting thing for now. Let's quickly go to your folder. Go to where you allocated it. Now I have new text document. You want to edit it. And now I forgot a thing. Okay, so now I'll quickly get the thing you want to type in and I'll show you guys. Okay, so I copied the thing. And basically you want to type this exactly over like that, chcp, which is a command. You want to run that protocol, whatever that, I think it stands for a protocol, I'm not sure. Something like that. And then this will not be the same for everyone. You want to allocate your JDK bin folder. So mine is program files. Java usually downloads to the program files. Then you would just want to go to your bin folder, copy the address, and paste it in here. -dfile.encoding equals UTF-8 jar and your jar name minus Nugget, of course, .jar and pause. I'm not sure mine is. Oh yeah, sorry. I'm gonna go back to it, and you want to save it as a start and a command file, which will be ran as a command. Oh yeah, this is the one I copied it from. I'll just delete that and make this one just start. There we go. Okay, minus named server you can do 2 things, or you can change this thing to this one. You can change the thing written in here to server, but I'll just change it to Nugget. Much easier. There we go. Now when you run it, let's see what happens. Okay, so I just run into a command. Oh yeah. Sorry, it doesn't have the code in. Let's quickly paste it in here. You want to save it. Is it a save anymore? Oh, there we go, save. Okay, so now I've started command. So now you want to run it. Just wait for it to run. May take a while. So both say chcp is not recognized internal external command, but that's fine. It will still run regardless. This process might take a while, so yeah, just be patient. There you go. It may give some warnings, but the role doesn't really hasn't been recreated, so it's fine. And now you go back to your export thing. You want to right click, go to export. You rename the thing to first browse. If you haven't done it already, plugins, and then we'll say save, but not as whatever is standing there, assassin, which is my plugin name. But anyway, you want to change it to your plugin name, and then finish. We'll probably have some warnings, but it's okay, it doesn't really matter. I'm gonna go back to my thing now. So now when you run it, let's quickly run it again. Wait for it to run. Okay, okay, so I just ran into error, but I think I know what's wrong. Oh yeah, okay, I'll quickly fix it. Okay, run it again. Sorry for that. And this time it should work. There we go. Now let's quickly look for it. There we go. So here is the thing we typed in a start. Let's quickly refresh that. Here we go. Plugin started. As you can see here, referring to a plugin started. So that's pretty cool. And now let's quickly type in start. Also, only players may execute this command. Now we are running low on time, unfortunately, so I will not be testing the plugin out this time. But you can just copy this code and try it on your thing. Just run a server and host it to your other consoles or whatever. But next time we'll test it, and feel free to leave anything in the comments if you have any questions. And until next time, have a good one.